ituloy nila na maging offshore wind project talaga. So, one company, more than $5 million na yung nagastos niya eh. So, we know that they are spending. And also, for them to join the auction that was mentioned by the Secretary, our requirements are very high. They should have had many of the permits already done and the designs already done. So, that is the level of comfort for the investment that the government will be making for the offshore wind port. Mr. Chair.
So I suggestion ko, well, I think you have may usapan na kayo with PPA on the other ports. But on this particular case, ang suggestion ko is to have some form of financial close or movement from indicative to committed stage and supply us with those information. So at least we can justify investing 4 billion pesos into an offshore wind port na alam ko kailangan to kasi kung hindi nila malalaunch yung kanilang offshore wind, no? Paano nila ilalaunch yun? But we need some advanced stage document para ma-justify natin. On the topic of nuclear, may nakita ko dito sa budget, meron tayong Nuclear Energy Program Coordinating Committee. It has a budget of about 45 million pesos. No? And so what's the exact status of our nuclear program? I heard the Secretary mentioned earlier na meron na tayong roadmap. No? But at what stage are we in terms of nuclear? As of this point,
Mr. Chair, first off, on the increase in budget, there's NEPIAC and then there's the nuclear division. We as of today, ang budget ng nuclear division namin kinukuha lang yan sa bureau itself. So now we're trying to. That's why there was an increase also in the bureau kasi dapat meron sariling budget yung division na yan. Now, ang second is where are we at? We are preparing for our target is by next year a company can come to the Philippines and apply for a license.
Yun ang target natin.
Yun yung target namin by next year.
Alright.
So what does it mean? That licensing for siting, for example, no? What does it mean? We need to have the IRR of our regulator ready. Also the rules of or the permitting or processes in DOE for a nuclear power plant. ECC has to be recalibrated para sa nuclear power plant ng DNR. There are also DND, Department of Finance. Many of the agencies are involved in this. So, yun po yung preparation namin. Now, we're now at the stage na we're assessing all the permitting processes in the different agencies para alam na nila kung ano yung kailangan nila hingin once there's an application. So having said that, we are trying to finish na rin lahat na capacity building now to that end. We are talking now we have MOA now with CHED and TESDA for skills mapping, pag i-laderize nyo din yung skills, ilan ba yung, we mapped it, how many operators do we need, how many construction, how many scientists do we need, so, and also on the part of the other agencies. So, medyo, it's the preparation stage for us to start now with the hopefully with the pre-development na talaga, Mr.
But everything, Secretary, is contingent on PhilAtom.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
How fast can we set up PhilAtom?
Currently, Mr. Chair, they are doing the IRR for the PhilAtom law.
This is spearheaded by DOST?
This is DOST, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. Together with, of course, the FDA, mga ganun. Ang PhilAtom, we have on the part of NEPIAC, for PhilAtom, we have contracted a technical assistance in the evaluation of preparation of PhilAtom, and PhilAtom is still lacking on the personnel, equipment, probably capital outlay for them to have their own office, ano. Pero currently, there is also in the transitory, Mr. Chair, na pwede naman yun yung galing sa FTA or I'm not sure in the DOST part for PNRI, ang people and the budget that can be transferred to that dapat pupunta sa PhilAtom. But as of now, I don't think it's sufficient enough for them to really be in full force. Kailangan talaga nila ng fresh budget to
but
be operational.
without PhilAtom, mahirap, walang pag-a-applyan ng license. No?
Yes.
So it's really, everything's contingent on,
Yes, Mr.
on
Chair.
PhilAtom. But during the budget deliberation of DOST, hindi naman nila, I don't recall DOST mentioning PhilAtom and its creation. No? So that's why I'm asking, because again, no, chicken or the egg, kung walang PhilAtom, walang pag-a-applyan ng license. No? But when during the budget deliberation of DOST, hindi naman nila, I don't recall DOST requesting for a separate item or a separate budget for PhilAtom.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure how they will handle that, but establishing PhilAtom. PhilAtom technically is under the Office of the President,
Yes.
and then you get all the offices of the different agencies. No? PNRI by itself is already a regulatory commission. You just have to extract that function and people as well para ma-establish yung commission. I think that might be a good start already for them, Mr. Chair. Hopefully it comes with a budget that's allocated to PNRI, but that's for the DOST to determine, Mr. Chair.
Correct. Well, I'm just flagging the department, because if the target, and I know in the PEP meron na tayong, for the first time, may nuclear kasama na siya sa energy mix, no? So in other words, may timetable na sinusundan siya. So I'm just flagging the department on that matter. And also another matter is I saw lumabas yung Department Circular 2025-10-0019. And this is to ensure a ready market for available capacities for Pioneer NPP nuclear power plant. I know the intention, no, for exempting nuclear power plant to CSP, no, para meron na siyang assured market, kasi ang laki, no? We're talking about, ano bang pinakamaliit na nuclear power plant, $10 billion in terms of construction in terms of construction
Basically,
cost.
$10 billion.
Yeah, $10 billion siya, more or less. So, sino namang maglalagay ng $10 billion nang walang market, no? Wala kang offtake, no? So, I know the intention, but I'm also concerned with our least cost principle, diba? So, we don't have to discuss that in length ngayon, but I'm just putting that on the table to the department, and later on we can have a longer discussion on that, because anong interplay ngayon ng least cost versus nuclear power plant, no? And from a consumer point of view, lalo na sa ERC, how are we assuring our consumers na si nuclear power plant is laging least cost, no? So you might want to have a quick response, no?
Quick lang, sir. That's why it's an interagency in the sense that kasama namin yung ERC. Is to assess how do we set the tariff for nuclear. Buti na lang katabi ko si Nino. It needs a longer contract, Mr. Chair, not just a 20-year or 10-year. So the useful life in France, in fact, it's 70 years yung sa kanila. Some countries give 50. So that's a major consideration in determining what's the cost of nuclear for us. Otherwise, it will be expensive kung shorter siya, Mr. Chair.
Definitely, because of the enormity of the investment cost, no, $10 billion. So that's about 50 billion pesos. Kailangan mo talaga 500 billion pesos. 500 billion, ganun kalaki. So imagine yung kailangan talaga meron siyang assured market, no? Kasi kung hindi, saan niya dadalhin yung kanyang kuryente, no?
Just and another thing, Mr. Chair, why is there the exception from CSP is just for the first one, Mr. Chair. It's just to have the pioneer in the Philippines, and it won't cover the rest of the succeeding ones, Mr. Chair. It's an incentive or encouragement to build the first nuclear power plant in the Philippines.
Anong status na secretary ng EVOS natin? Is it fully operational na? And then also, ERC is part of that, eh, no? So, kumusta ang implementation natin ng EVOS? Is it fully, everything is fully online already? But I get a lot of feedback. May man nakausap akong developers na okay, positive feedback actually, and they said talagang nakita nila yung efficiency, no? But in terms of achieving full integration of all departments to EVOS, kumusta na tayo dyan?
Before kanina to ka-asek no? Before Undersecretary Kapungkol answers, Mr. Chair, EVOS, yes, it's one of the most the pride and joy of DOE, but it's still not there yet, Mr. Chair, to be as we envisioned. It needs more work on the side of the DOE and all the other agencies. But yes, it's has given us much headway in pushing for renewable. Mr. Chair, before Undersecretary Kapungkol explains, I just want to plug in a request, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
There's one issue really of EVOS. It's given 30 calendar days. Pag kompleto na siya, 30 calendar days, dapat ilabas na namin yung decision. Otherwise, it's deemed approved. 30 calendar days converts to 30 minus 8, mga 22 days, working days, Mr. Chair. Currently, we're handling about 26,000, did you say? We have processed 26,000, and we try to keep up naman with the number of people in REMB and the Bureau, but it's really not feasible it's not healthy, let's say. Iba niyan, Mr. Chair, na mga anak na lang sa hospital may perma pa rin. May nakunan na yun dyan. May mga stroke. It's not healthy for, because of that, we've tried to cut it off, the hours, for example, na dapat past 5 o'clock, but still the stress levels you can see it in the records ng turnover, and we're hoping maybe it can be, our wish is just merely put it in 30 working days, no? Yun lang. Kasi hindi kasi yan nag-iisa eh. It has to go technical, legal and financial, hindi naman pwede na sabay-sabay lang lahat kasi kailangan may order siya. But that's our concern. Major concern yun sa REMBI, sir, kasi maybe before we were envisioning a few applications per day or per month, but now we're talking about thousands na eh. So it's not really we'll make the proper request to you, Mr. Chair.
What's envisioned when we were drafting that together with all the stakeholders is really a full